Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're once again going to be looking at Opeth. Yesterday they released a new video for the track Universal Truth off off their most recent album In Corda Venenum, which is their 13th studio album. Now obviously it's not a new track because the album was released some time ago. But I've not actually listened to this album. It's the only Opeth album I've not listened to yet. This is mainly due to the fact that I haven't really enjoyed their last three albums. The last three albums. Ever since Watershed, I've not enjoyed any of their albums. I mean, obviously, I miss the death growls, which seems to be a big talking point for a lot of people, but you know, I do miss those, but I actually think the way they play has changed so drastically as well. You know, the music isn't nearly as heavy as it used to be, and you know, they've gone for a more melodic sort of approach to the music, and I just don't enjoy it. I can't really get into the music anymore. It's just completely changed, and I've really gone off them. But you know, the album In Corda Venenum might actually be good. I don't know, but we'll see. So, like I said, we're going to be looking at a track called Universal Truth. So, like I said, not a new track, but it is a new video that was released yesterday. I've got the lyrics up here, so I think we'll just jump straight to it and see what we've got. So, yeah, Universal Truth by Opeth. Let's have a look.
Sweat on the ground runs over faces made of snow.
going to pause that there for a sec since there is a quiet moment in the music. Some very interesting vocal choices in this. He's using some vocal styles I've not heard him use before. A lot of songs in the vocals in the higher range of sound. But again, there's nothing that really pulls me into the song. It's just, it's lacking a lot of the sound from their earlier career. I mean, obviously, music evolves, bands evolve as time goes on, but Opeth just seem to have taken a sudden nosedive in the sound of their music, like from the very first album all the way up to Watershed. They were hard, they were heavy, they had the growled and clean vocals, and then all of a sudden it's like they hit a brick wall and just plummeted straight downwards. And obviously the music is still very well performed. They're all very talented musicians, but the music just doesn't have the grandiosity to it. It doesn't have the big feel to it anymore. It just doesn't really capture me anymore, which is really unfortunate because they were one of my favourite bands. The video's very interesting though. It looks like it's the song itself looks like it's talking about someone who's struggling with loss. Looks through the video like his wife or girlfriend, whoever, has walked out on him and he's struggling to deal with it. And the song's written in a very strange way. Verses are like 2 lines long, the chorus is 2 lines long, and then it's got a post-chorus which is about 7 or 8 lines. It's very unusual. Anyway, it goes, sweat on the brow runs over faces made of snow. There comes a time in life when death may come too slow. And then it goes into the chorus. Honesty in necrology, the offspring smear your name in print. Then it goes to the post-chorus. You have waited far too long, but spring is set in bloom. You have conquered love inside, yet sorrow is your doom. The debts are long since paid, inheritance is set. Still agitation reels inside, lest you forget. Lest you forget. Then it goes into verse 2. At sunrise Friday morning, a haven for your sins, the written dedication etched into your skin. And then it goes into a second chorus, which varies from the first one. It says, time won't heal the wounds you bear between old pride and desperate prayers. So again, even the song itself sounds like it's talking about, dealing with loss, coping with what you once had but has been either taken away forcibly or is just completely removed itself from your life. That's what it seems to be. But yeah, we'll carry on and see where this goes. I may yet be surprised, but I'm not holding my breath. Let's carry on.
Time won't heal any wounds you bear. A sad few years of your life are stolen. Light cast on the obvious. Behold the white when it's faded golden. A stranger's truth holds no water here. Soon we may have learned. Dead sympathy, aversion proceeds.
Well, there we go. That was Universal Truth by Opeth. Now, as I said, the song seemed to be talking about loss, and the video sort of highlighted that. And I suppose Universal Truth, in and of itself, it means everyone leaves or dies in the end. Eventually, everything you love will die, disappear, go away. That's what it certainly seems to suggest. I will say though, the most interesting thing about that song was the video. I quite actually liked how they did that. The guy obviously suffered the loss of his girlfriend and or wife, and he sort of became obsessed with it. So he ended up making like this little puppet theatre with marionettes and stuff to live out life, to act out life the way he wanted it to have been. And he became so obsessed with it, that he was neglecting himself, neglecting his own life, and he was so busy, stuck in the past. And eventually, the female puppet, the strings broke, it fell down. So essentially, she left him as well. She was no longer animated in his life, so he suffered again another loss. So, I love the video. It's actually quite a moving video. I really like the way it was done, and I like the style it was done in. Very, very good. The song had its moments, it had some of those slightly heavier moments, and obviously with the sort of subject that it's talking about, it's more of a sort of balladesque kind of subject in its own way. But the song just doesn't grab me, Nothing from the album Heritage onwards has, had any of that sound and that sort of gravitas that pulled me into Opeth in the first place. They've just, it's just everything that was great about the band seems to have just disappeared. Now they're just sort of, I hate to say it, almost generic. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. I mean, this album in itself is quite an interesting thing because they released it in two languages. There is a Swedish version and the English version where, the Swedish one is sung entirely in Swedish. That actually might sound interesting, hearing it all in Swedish. I don't know, but nothing really stands out about it, which is really unfortunate. Now the track carried on. Time won't heal any wounds you bear. A set few years of your life are stolen. Light cast on the obvious. Behold the white when it's faded golden. A stranger's truth holds no water here. But soon we may have learned. Dead sympathy and aversion proceeds. Then it goes in. That was a bridge section. Then it goes into a third verse. A voice lives in your chest that comforts weary thought, yet the brook is still too wide to bridge the gap you've sought. And then it goes back to the first chorus saying, honesty in necrology, the offspring smear your name in print. And then it goes, you trade your vices for every day religiously. A pack of vultures wait for everyone to see. You gave away too much, a harness on your kin. For any transgressions never mirrored mortal sin. Mortal sin, you're still alone. The day in zenith now, you made it through the night. Voice of perdition came and went far out of sight. And that's where the song ends. But, the song is still written in the way he's always written his songs. There's interesting use of phrasing, very interesting ways to word things. So, the writing is still there, but the actual performance just doesn't really shine anymore. Yeah, it's very disappointing to see Opeth go this way, because I went to their 20th anniversary concert, the Evolution 20. That was played at the Royal Albert Hall. It was a 3-hour concert. It was phenomenal. They played the entirety of Blackwater Park from beginning to end. Then they did one song of every album chronologically up until Watershed, which was their last album at the time. And that was a fantastic gig. It was unbelievable. It was a hell of a thing to behold. But everything they've released since then has just been it's just really been below below average. It's not great. Musically, obviously, they're still very talented, very good musicians, but there's something really missing from their music. And they're not. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just very lackluster. There's nothing stands out. It's very unfortunate because they were such a powerhouse at round about the times of Blackwater Park and Still Life and stuff like that. They were phenomenal. They were unstoppable. But they've just, like I said earlier, they've just plummeted into nowhere. There's nothing great about them anymore, which is a shame. But of course, this is just my personal opinion. Other people may like the way they've gone. Other people might still very much enjoy their music. This is just how I feel about their music. It's my personal opinion. So there's no need to get all bent out of shape and start calling me and insulting me names, as has happened in the last few days because of my opinion on a song that everybody else seemed to like but I hated. So anyway, it's just my personal opinion. I think they've really declined in quality and such since Watershed. But as I said, that's just my personal opinion. But I can't think of anything else to say about that track, so I'm going to leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you could even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would help me tremendously in creating future content for this channel. Do know, however, if you do suggest a track, it might take me a while to get around to it, since I get suggested so many tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It's probably just going to take me a while to get around to it. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those aimed at people of the alternative subculture. It's something I believe in very strongly, something I'm very, very passionate about, because it's something I've had to deal with for most of my life. And, many members of my family have had to deal with it, and I've got many friends who've had to deal with it, and I know some of you watching have also had to deal with it. And, it's something that I think is really important, but doesn't get spoken about nearly enough. People have even said in comments on my channel that they don't consider it a hate crime. They don't think it's a big deal, but it is. It is a huge deal, and it is a hate crime because people are getting violently attacked for being different, which is in essence the very definition of a hate crime. Attacking someone because you hate something that they like, or because they do not fit into what you consider to be societal norms. That's a hate crime. People are getting violently attacked. People are getting severely injured. People are getting hospitalised. They're having bones broken just purely because of their taste in music. And that is just utterly ridiculous on the face of it. You say it out loud, someone was attacked because they like different music. It just sounds ridiculous. That's like beating someone up for liking cheese and onion crisps when you like salt and vinegar. It's ridiculous. There's no point to it. It accomplishes nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you hoping to gain from doing it? Beating someone up because they listen to different music, they're not going to suddenly turn around, listen to chart music and, wear bloody Burberry or plaid. It's not going to happen. So what is the point behind it, other than trying to look big and hard in front of your mates? And at the end of the day, it doesn't make you look big, it doesn't make you look clever, it makes you look like an ignorant tool, But it still goes on, and nothing is getting done about it, and that needs to change. Because, I mean, it happens every single day, all over the world, but nobody speaks about it unless something tragic happens. Like there was a punk in America who got intentionally run down by a car. This guy purposefully hit him with a car and killed him outright. And, that got reported in the news. Of course, the guy who hit him got away with it because it was only a punk that he killed, and he was one of these sort of high school football scholarship type people, and the judge didn't want to ruin his future career by sending him to prison, so he essentially got away with it. And then you've got the incident with Sophie Lancaster and Rob Maltby. They were attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people, and they were brutally beaten, both beaten so severely that they ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, thankfully, he survived. He was in a coma for, I think, about a week. I can't remember exactly. But Sophie Lancaster, she was in a coma for 13 days before she eventually died. This girl was murdered because of her taste in music. It's utterly ridiculous. And as I said before, this was a group of 5 or 6 people beating up a young girl and her boyfriend. And this is the other thing about it. It is always a group of people. You never get them one-on-one because essentially they're cowards. And they always do it because they want to show off in front of their mates. And that's it. That's the big thing. They want to show off in front of their mates. Look, I'm going to beat up this mosher. Why? Because they like different music to me. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, it's petty, it's small-minded, it's ignorant. But, like I said, this happens every single day. And, Sophie Lancaster passed away a good 12, 13 years ago now. And I guarantee you that thousands of people in the alternative community have been violently attacked since then. People have possibly been sent to hospital, people have had their bones broken since that happened, but nobody hears about it because nobody talks about it and nothing gets done. And this needs to change. And this is what Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to shine a big spotlight on the fact that this is happening. They want the fact that this is happening to get more recognition. They want people to start talking about it and, to stop this sort of thing from happening. They don't want to see another family go through what they went through when, they had to watch their daughter die over the course of 2 weeks. Nobody should have to see their child die, especially over something so pathetic and petty, And it's something that definitely needs to be talked about, something that definitely needs to be changed, needs to be fixed. And, I think it's really important that this happens, otherwise more people are going to end up, being seriously injured, possibly even killed over their taste in music. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over to their website, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any way, obviously don't feel obligated to, but if you can help them in any way, even a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands from their web store, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner more people will start talking about it. And the sooner that happens, the sooner we can stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.